Makers of Carlton Draft.
The Demons had a mighty year in '87, and it all started with their win in this competition. Tonight, the Roys will provide stern opposition. The Lions looked most impressive in their first round victory over Fitzroy, and with a semi-final berth at stake, they'll be desperate to continue their confident early season form. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to VFL Park and the Panasonic Cup, and a match that really should be a great one. It's the reigning night champions, Melbourne, taking on first round winners, Fitzroy. Melbourne had a bye in the first round. Fitzroy, on the other hand, were successful over Fitzroy, and I might add, led by John Ironmonger, looked most impressive to the tune of 39 points. Weather-wise here at the park, well, conditions really couldn't be better for football at the moment, and they say it's a winter game. We're expecting an overnight low of 15. We've got a current temperature of 19, and there will be a slight breeze here at the ground, but fine and mild and great for the players. Well, speaking of the players, we better find out about the teams, and joining me at the 7 microphone once again tonight, it's a very good evening to Ian Robinson and Malcolm Blight. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Ian, let's go straight to work and let's have a look at the teams.
Well, Melbourne in particular, after last year, looked tremendous. They won the night premiership and went on and were beaten in the preliminary final by Hawthorn. And they're led very capably by Stephen O'Dwyer, a young ruckman who had a great year last year. Greg Healy, a very good little rover. And Wilson, nice to see him settle his differences with the club. Stretch on the half-back flank, a good player, won their best and fairest. They look pretty solid, Melbourne, and I think they'll give Fitzroy a good test. Malcolm?
Well, yes, obviously their form was excellent last year, and the Fitzroy side doesn't look very good. Stevens has settled in at full-back, Pert back for his first game of the season, and Ruse at centre-half forward just adds that extra class to their forward line. I think the contest of the night is going to be Ironmonger versus the taller Melbourne men.
Well, I think Ironmonger couldn't have done anything any better in that first match we saw against Fitzroy. Was tremendous, wasn't he?
Well, he looked really a different player, John Ironmonger, playing with the Lions, and is going to be very interesting. I think that's just one of a number of what should be great duels here at VFL Park tonight. We'll take a break and return with all the action in just a moment.
Hello?
Hi, Jen.
Sally. Got that. Oh, just a minute.
This may come as a shock, but your insurance may not pay for your new kitchen.
Oh, my goodness, it's check!
But some policies only entitle you to the second-hand value of your old kitchen. But an SIO household policy offers you new for old. Instead of the second-hand value, it gives you a brand new kitchen or a new home. Call the SIO for details.
It's time for a change for the better, to Coles New World.
Make the change for the better to the better way to shop at Coles New World. To enjoy your shopping more and make your shopping bill less.
Coke 2-litre range, only $1.39, save 48 cents. And Nabisco Vita Brits, also $1.39, save 56 cents.
Time for a change for the better, to Coles New World.
Make the change, get the change at Coles New World, where you get high standards and low prices.
I'll take you to places that you've never been. I'll show you the world. I'll share in your dreams. 'Cause I know the feelings that you're going through. I'm an Australian like you. And when the time comes to turn homewards again, I'll be there waiting like an old friend. And you'll realize something that I've always known. I still call Australia home.
There's a lot more to budget than regular car rental. So if you want a driver, hey Greg, Budget can do. Chauffeur drive is part of our service, and service is what drives us.
Thursday night, Rafferty's caught in a sinister plot.
You don't seriously expect me to believe that an Australian intelligence organisation would plot against its own government?
A web of intrigue that could cost his job.
This entire courtroom fiasco has been a setup.
Guest stars Angela Punch McGregor.
You're a man with a sense of duty.
Rob Mulliner.
I can't join the dots together.
Bob Bruning.
Suppose the SIA for what they are.
With Andrew McFarlane as Sergeant Gibson.
You're no longer a cop, Ross.
Rafferty's Rules, 8:30 Thursday on 7.
In the middle at VFL Park, here's the toss with Healy and Roos representing Melbourne and Fitzroy.
Grant Vernon tossing, and Greg Healy has won the toss for Melbourne, and Melbourne will kick to the left of screen, the large scoreboard end, which possibly may be favoured by a very slight breeze, but in fact it's more across the ground out here in the middle at VFL Park.
Thank you, Peter. Peter Donegan, our boundary line expert, along with Dixie Marshall, Malcolm Blight. Just how strong do you think that wind could be?
Well, Sandy, it's going in a direction virtually across to that pocket, opposite the scoreboard pocket, and I think about a goal or perhaps 2 goals, but very scoreable at both ends of the ground.
Right, Melbourne kicking with that breeze in this first term. An enthusiastic crowd, no doubt many of them keen to see if Fitzroy can follow on their early success over Footscray. And Melbourne, on the other hand, well, it's the first outing for a team many people consider so unlucky in 87. Grant Vernon and Ian Clayton in charge, and it will be umpire Clayton to get the first quarter underway here at the park. This is a quarter-final of the Panasonic Cup, and it will be O'Dwyer up against Ironmonger. It's the Melbourne man who wins it, down towards Healy. Tried to get the hand pass out, was unsuccessful, and Fitzroy through Bolton go wide towards the wing. No one able to trap it cleanly. It's socket off the ground towards the boundary line, and it goes over the line for a throw-in, with Conlon giving chase, but unable to get there in time. The Fitzroy bench, and in the middle, one of their most senior men, Thornton, from the throw-in. It's Ironmonger who gets it. It was Healy who tried to tap it forward, but it only goes to Wilson. Here's a chance now for the Demons as they go forward through Bailey, up towards centre half forward. The bounce is going to be good for Yates. He heads towards goal and puts the first one through.
Well, what magnificent play by Graham Yates. Running through the centre, got the luck of the bounce. Fortune favours the brave, and with a great burst of speed. Here's the replay now. As you can see, Williams almost got a hand on it, and Yates, and a great steadying kick running straight at the goals, and the goal umpire didn't have to move. What a fantastic start for Melbourne.
Well, I don't think they could ask for anything more, the Demons. They had a sensational year last year, and Yates was one of the players who really gave them a burst.
Centre bounce once again. Can Melbourne keep it going? It's Healy who gets a high kick towards the half-forward line. No one able to take the mark. It was pushed forward. Eventually picked up by Osborne. Back towards the centre. Conlon is there. Got a fist to it. Knocked it clear. Keane tapped it further forward, but Stretch is there, backing up beautifully for Melbourne. Pushes it out wide, and the Demons go into attack once again.
Half-forward flank, out of side. Fitzroy come away. Here's a chance for Ironmonger. Steadies. Kicks it wide to the wing. Bowls on in the back. Play on, says the umpire. Leon Harris gives it to Pekin. Pekin into the forward pocket. Melbourne steady in defence. Danny Hughes takes the mark in the back pocket. Rock solid defender is Hughes for the Demons, and he kicks towards half back, and there's a good mark taken by Ironmonger, carrying on his good form from a couple of weeks ago when he played a sensational game in his first match for the Lions. A poor kick in towards centre half forward. Osborne gathers the ball well, forced to kick with the left foot, hooks it around in front of the goal square, punched away. Here's a chance. A good kick there by Strooper for Fitzroy, goes across the face and out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in about 10 metres around from the Fitzroy goal. Melbourne interchange bench with young Newport there looking interested. In the forward pocket, chance there for Lovett in front of the goals. Kicked away by Melbourne, out towards half-back, past the 50-metre line. Chance for Loken to put Fitzroy back into attack. Swings around and kicks the ball high towards the full-forward area, but the mark's been taken by Greg Healy.
And he has been in absolutely everything in the opening minutes of this game. Wilson goes short, but it's going to be okay for Melbourne as Bailey kept it in play. It's a longer kick now, up towards centre wing. Ironmonger, 1, 2 grabs. can't complete the mark. They all go in and over the top. Eventually it's scooped out, straight back to Healy. He gets a handball over the top and was pushed at the same time. So it will go back to Healy, who really is having a sensational start. He's on the defensive side of centre wing. Unsure where to go. He goes up towards the flank. Fitzroy in front, but the mark not taken. And there'll be a free kick, I think, by umpire Clayton, being given out, and will go back to Melbourne, and it'll be taken by Warren Dean. Dean, after a good season last year, settling in, goes long, very long, up towards full forward. They've got to get back on it. It's close to the boundary line. Trying to keep it in was Tony Campbell, unable to do so, and it goes over the line with David Parkett quickly on the line, issuing orders.
What a magnificent addition he's been to the side too, Warren Dean. What an excellent kick that was, right to the heart of the goal square.
Stein's doing the ruck work against Ironmonger. Chance for Melbourne, can't break clear. Bailey throws himself in. Ironmonger again, third possession in 3 minutes. Pert off to Pekin. Pekin towards the wing. Chance for Lyon, good mark. What a great sight this is for Lyon fans, to see Lyon in that Guernsey again. He kicks it into the centre. Loken steadies. Long kick to full forward. Mark to Roos. 40 metres out, directly in front. And Paul Roos in his first season as captain. 125 VFL games, a veteran. Paul Roos. Punch for goal. Goal umpire moves across. Roos is offline. Through from behind to Fitzroy.
What a bit of a tragedy that, really, because Lyon's taken a great, courageous mark, and Roos also dropping back, and they just didn't quite finish that off then.
Now on the phone, John Northey, pensive in these opening moments as Hughes goes to the outer side with a nice-looking kick. Melbourne first to the ball, but having trouble getting it clear. Viney in strife, eventually gets it out, and through a chain of handballs it comes to Stretch. He goes wide towards centre wing, not kept in play, however, and in fact the boundary umpire said out of bounds in the full, so Fitzroy a chance once again to go into attack, and it will be Blakey. Osborne, clear, a long punt. Hughes is there, Roos also, but Cummings in from the side. And my word, we're seeing all the skills of the game in the opening minutes of this particular match, because the mark has been taken by Keane.
And what an excellent mark this was, coming in from the side. Hughes and Roos. Hughes did very well with the body on Roos then, but Keane, lurking from the side, takes a second grab mark.
35 metres out. The left foot drop punt on its way. The goal umpire doesn't move.
After a long, hard day, nothing beats a long, cold Carlton draft.
Pour it long, pour it cold, pour it Carlton, pour it gold. The real taste of real draft beer. Pour it long, pour it cold, pour it Carlton, pour it gold.
Carlton Draft, the greatest taste in draft beer.
Fitzroy lead by a point. Very interesting opening to the first quarter-final of the Panasonic Cup. Just under 13 minutes to go in the first quarter. Chance now for Viney. Kicks the ball off the ground and follows it up well. Now there's another kick off the ground out towards the wing area. Melbourne will go into attack through Jackson. Jackson's left foot kick, not a bad one. Just puts Williams under a little bit of pressure, gave Blakey the chance, and the Fitzroy defender did the rest, punching the ball over the line, and we'll have a throw-in some 75 metres around from the Melbourne goal.
Ian, you mentioned the amount of time left in the game. That's one of the new innovations you're going to be seeing in Sevens football coverage this year. We're not counting at the start of a game, we are counting down the quarters, and so the time that you see on your screen is the amount of time left in the quarter. Now here's Laurie defending stoutly, getting it across to Harris, a good hand pass, and through handball, Fitzroy and Pekin should get out of trouble. He steadies, bolts, turns, and eventually kicks towards centre wing. Only momentary though. Oh, there's plenty of pressure on. Grinder tries for a thump, but he misses, and Fitzroy are loose again. Roos is at half forward. He'll kick long in towards the square. He's going to have a bounce, another bounce at the 50-metre line. He's forced onto the left foot. Conlon is the target. He drops it back. Can't complete the mark. He's got support. The Melbourne defence is fierce. Umpire Clayton calls play on, and the
tackles at half forward. Grinter punches the ball on. Here's a chance for Melbourne. Wilson's handball off to Steins. Steins left foot kick to the wing. Good punch away. In there again is Steins. The ball on the centre wing area, picked up by Ironmonger. Leon Harris comes wide now. Loken kicks the ball to the centre. Melbourne mark taken by Hughes. He handballs quickly over to Bailey. Bailey, half-back flank, on to Johnson. Only 9 games last year. What an advantage it'll be for the Demons if he can play a full season. Chance now for Campbell. A tap on. Peakin's there. Johnson again. Gets it off to Yates. Yates centres the ball. Mark to it. It'll be a free kick. No, play on to the umpire. Peakin kicks the ball high. In towards the centre half-back area. Mark Devine.
Well, what an exciting couple of minutes that was. And here's Viney now looking for the lead. He's gone very, very wide.
No mark taken. Thomas goes through but loses the football. He has support, however, through Taylor. And it'll be Taylor who'll take the free kick. Melbourne fans not liking it. Keane needs support. Eventually finds it. Peakin in towards the centre. And there have been a couple of courageous marks taken in the last few minutes, and that is another one.
Excellent talking then by young David Strooper, who called Osborne in, obviously.
Osborne down towards the 50-metre line. Interference. And play on is the call. The advantage going the way of Fitzroy. It was Stevens who got clear, tried to get him across to his teammate, and they're going to lose.
There's an interesting move on here, Sandy. Both Keane and Roos are playing virtually from the centre-half forward position, and Roos is running where he likes. And the fella Spalding's having trouble finding out who to pick up.
The kick went to Steins. Here's a chance now for Taylor. Taylor gets Fitzroy back into attack. The kick towards centre-half forward's a good one, and it's been taken by Lyons. The handball. Bowls it. Turns and kicks to the front of the square. Roos flies high, just misjudged it ever so slightly. Grinter gets the ball clear for Melbourne. Out wide, Bailey picked up a lot of possessions in his matches last year, and he started the season well again, and he kicks it to Williams between wing and half forward. Too far out, much too far out to score, David Williams, and he'll put the Demons right into attack. His long kick towards half forward. Campbell takes the mark over the top of the pack. 55 metres from goal, Tony Campbell. Maybe just a little too far out.
You'd think so, with that breeze coming across him there. Would probably pull it to the left-hand goal post. He's going to have to allow a bit. Now Ironmonger has got himself settled in the goal square. It's going to make it very hard to score from there.
Campbell goes in short. Oh, chipping in well. Peakin's read it well. Kicks it out to the wing. Roos has made good position and marks. Plays on quickly. Left foot kicks a good one. Harris in front. Overruns it. Lyon has been in the play a lot. Tries to tap on. Chance for Conlon. Back to Lyon. Very talented young player. Kicks for goal across the face. Close to the boundary line. Oh, well kept in. Johnson towards half-back. Finds Viney.
Viney on the half-back line. Centres it. Finds Steins. He goes into the middle. The Demons looking to go forward through Jackson. Now up towards the 50-metre line. An opportunity to score. Campbell around his body, in towards the pocket. Fisted clear towards the pocket. First to it could be Newport, but he's under a ton of pressure. Now he's got support. An opportunity still for Healy as he pushes it clear. Jackson, Steins, steadies on the left foot. Not a good kick.
Well, it's interesting. It wasn't a great play by the big fella then. But when you turn the football and kick around your body, you must have the ball upright. Otherwise, you hit the ball in the middle, and that's the result. It goes anywhere. But what wonderful running from a big ruckman.
Just on 10 minutes remaining in this first quarter of this Panasonic quarter-final cup match. And it has started at a crackerjack pace. Pert, a prodigious kicker of the ball. Breeze perhaps holding it just a little, but it was still a good 50 metres. Grinter almost threw it over the top, but he's got away with it to Wilson. He's under pressure, gets his kick away as he's tackled in towards full forward. A fine attempt to mark by Campbell. Can't do so. Needs support. O'Dwyer's in there. With a bit of niggling too going on. The umpire comes in, settles things down, and decides upon a bounce.
Here's umpire Grant Vernon taking control.
Play only 15 metres out from the Melbourne goal. O'Dwyer and Ironmonger. Healy. Good kick off the ground by the Lion defence. Here's a chance now for Steins. Another left foot shot into the forward pocket, opposite side. Punched away by Stevens over the boundary line, and will have a throw in. Only 5 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Scores a level, 1-1-7 apiece. And only 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. O'Dwyer and Ironmonger, they'll have some very good contests during the evening. Chance for Pekin, doing well. Gets it out to Loken. Loken plays on. Left foot kick into the centre of the field. Chance there for Lyon again. Does it well and gets it off to the running Osborne. What a spectacular player he is when he gets clear. Ruse or nearly crashed to the ground by Chiron. He dodged it well. Leon Harris into an open goal and puts it through for Fitzroy's second goal. We'll get the all clear, will we, from umpire Clayton? Not quite. No. It'll be a free kick behind play. Big pack of players. And perhaps umpire Clayton. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I would suggest that Paul Ruse, almost losing his head in that little fracas, has reacted in a way that was very manly.
It's given the all clear, and it is a goal to Fitzroy, and by that goal they lead by 6 points.
Friday night on 7. When DJ Clint Eastwood hears these words, it's the start of a casual fling with a beautiful girl.
David, I love you.
An affair that explodes into a nightmare of terror.
She's back. I've been released.
She'll do anything to possess him, and to keep him, she will kill. Before Fatal Attraction, there was Clint Eastwood in Play Misty for Me, presented by Phillips Refrigerators, Friday on 7.
So 6 points, the margin, as the centre bounce takes place once again. And it's Thomas who puts Fitzroy into attack. A hurried left foot kick. It's going to be snared by Chiron, who goes high, back towards the middle, looking towards the right half-forward line. And there's a fine mark taken by Williams. He'll put the Demons into attack. They trail by 6 points towards the half-forward line. Campbell was the target. Couldn't find him. Butters up well, but the boundary line might beat him. It does. And a throw-in will take place. Good desperate stuff by Campbell there, forwards. Perhaps in past years not being known for their desperation, and he kept it in well, Tony Campbell. And O'Dwyer. Good punch away there by Ironmonger. Chance for Jackson. Well tackled by Conlon, now having a run on the ball. Crunch to the ground, Wilson. Williams gets it off to Dean. Dean's left foot kick's not a bad one. Up into the full forward area. Good punch away. Ironmonger's under pressure, but he does it well, the big fella. Gets the kick off the field. Goes in towards the centre of the ground. Chance there for Fitzroy to break clear. High kick towards the wing. Here's their first look at Spalding, but he's beaten to the ball by Grinter. Grinter kicks the Demons back into attack, and it's a good one. Out into the half-forward flank area where Greg Healy takes the mark for Melbourne. He plays on quickly. Left foot kick into the centre, fine stretch. And the 1987 best and fairest winner, Stephen Stretch, into the play in the first quarter for the Demons. Not much time left in the first quarter. A Stretch kicks the ball to full forward. Ironmonger in front. It's punched away by O'Dwyer. Kick off the ground by Wilson. Chance for Viney. Can't break clear. In there is Pert. Kick off the ground by Jackson's well smothered by Laurie. In there is Stevens for Fitzroy. Conlon. Healy. Crashed to the ground by Bolson. Is it a free kick? Yes, it is, according to umpire Clayton.
Well, he was going to be awarded a free kick. I thought it was pretty doubtful, really. He was on the way down anyhow, and the player just coming through. Accidents do count, but he's in a very, very tight pocket. I doubt. Here we go. Colin misses the tackle. And a shot to goal from there tonight, I think, is going to be very, very difficult indeed.
Greg Healy, 1988 captain of the Demons. Punch for goal. Not a bad-looking kick by Greg Healy. It's through the centre. Second goal.
And now our distinguished soloist will play How to Succeed in Small Business Without Running All Around the Country. Get on the phone and get on with business.
HBA Singles System. It gets me more than Medicare. I get fast treatment and discounts on things like shirts.
Pity about the collar size. HBA Single System. The health cover you need, plus discounts on the things you want.
From the centre bounce, it's Stretch, putting Melbourne into attack again, down towards the 50-metre line. A mighty thump goes straight to Wilson, steadies, fires with a drop punt, it goes over the top and bounces through for another goal. Goals to Wilson. Yates and Healy see Melbourne hit the lead.
Well, what a fantastic read by Brian Wilson. But an interesting lesson here. Right-handed punches coming from behind, hit the ball back to the centre. Great experience from Wilson, is the arc to be in, and of course he finished it off very well. But a good lesson for all young players then, when right-handers punches going from defence, run to the inside of the ground.
We've got another bit of an altercation on the wing area here. Stretch, Johnson, Conlon, Viney, umpire Clayton coming in to just cool things down a little. In fact, both umpires out there making sure that the boys get through this quarter at least.
Just testing their assertiveness, each team.
Well, it started like there's no tomorrow, and Melbourne lead. Centre bounce again. Ironmonger comes over the top and just goes thump. Fitzroy able to win it out of the middle, and it's a delightful looking kick too, as it came from Lyon down towards the 50-metre line. Lyon again in trouble, goes for the handball over the top looking for Osborne. He got hand the ball but just pushed it towards the line as the siren sounds to end the first quarter here at VFL Park. And what a quarter of football it's been. Melbourne 3-1-19 leading Fitzroy 2-1-13.
Well, we've sure come a long way together since the day when we took our first vow. We've been growing, changing, we've never looked back, and we've never looked better than now. Australia, holding Australia, holding and Australia together, together, together. We're holding Australia, yes, we're holding and Australia together.
If you want to be best dressed at the best price, check out these real suede leather coats at Speeds. Made in Australia, all $25. There's matte leather too, in 6 fashion shades and 4 heel heights, plus black paintings, all Australian made, all $25. Oh, and Australian made men's real leather stitch downs are $30. Step into style at Speeds this week.
Macca here. You know, beer and stubbies not only tastes better, but it stays colder longer, which is great when the neighbours finally arrive.
Beer in stubbies tastes so good, it's uncanny.
At Work Care Rehabilitation, we can help an injured worker to recover. We can counsel him and we can retrain him. But we can't find him the right job, like an understanding boss can. And we can't support him as much as his workmates can. And no matter what we do, we can't encourage him as much as his family can. Work Care Rehabilitation. We're doing what we can. The rest is up to you.
There are some things you take great care of when you wash. And now you can use Delicate Mix to wash them gently and help keep that special feeling you love. Delicate Mix is not just a liquid detergent. Delicate Mix is made especially for those things that are easily damaged in the wash. So keep the feeling you love in delicate things. Wash them only in Delicate Mix.
Behind every story, there's a story. A Melbourne viewpoint on the events and issues that shape our lives. Now, Current Affairs has a brave new face. Hinch at 7 on 7.
It's quarter time here at VFL Park in this quarter-final match in the Panasonic Cup, and Melbourne, with 2 late goals in the quarter, have hit the lead. 3-1-19 to Fitzroy, 2-1-13. And besides being great financial incentives for the clubs, this particular competition, it also offers some great prizes for the best players on the ground.
The player of the match receives this magnificent compact-sized variable power oven by courtesy of Panasonic.
Malcolm Blight, what a great start it was to this quarter-final, that first term.
Yes, it was an excellent 20 minutes of football. I think one of the most important things is going to be now is whether Ironmonger can get on top. As we've just watched some of the highlights in this great goal of Yates early in the game, Ironmonger's been setting him up a lot out of the centre, but it's interesting to note that Healy has 8 possessions, the rover for Melbourne. He's been very, very damaging around the packs. On the other hand, Osborne's picked up 6 possessions. So around the ball is going to be the key to it, and of course we've got this extraordinary forward line set up off Fitzroy with Keane and Roos virtually playing at centre-half forward, and Roos with a licence to run up the ground wherever he likes. As we see this last highlight, see this punch, it's a great lesson, as I mentioned during the call, to run back from a right-handed punch, to run back towards the middle, and Brian Wilson did it very well and finished off. An expensive lesson, but perhaps it was learned. Let's go down to the boundary line because Peter Donegan and Dixie are there. Pete, what news have you?
Well, David Parkin, Sandy, at quarter time told his players they have to make a fair dingham effort to get back to the man that they're minding. He said it cost them 2 goals. He said they need to be disciplined in their play. He said Melbourne are a very disciplined side, and 18 handballs just wasn't enough in the first quarter. What about John Northey, Dixie?
Well, Northey says he wants his players to block up the holes in the back line, to move the ball quickly into the forward line and to forget all the short passes.
OK, Melbourne with the advantage at quarter time in the Panasonic Cup.
Just one straight kick in it, though. And this promises to be a great game of football wherever you're watching it. We hope that you're enjoying it. So the start of the second quarter. Melbourne go into it, leading by just 1 straight kick. 6 points the margin. It was O'Dwyer doing the ruck work, trying to get it out of the middle. The free kick will go the way of Healy, who had 8 possessions in that first quarter. He goes long to the half-forward line, and a good, solid one-grab mark by Steins. Looks for the player running past, finds him. Melbourne dangerous as they go towards the half-forward line once again. That was better defensive work on that occasion, and it was Grant Laurie who pushes Fitzroy momentarily out of danger. No one able to pick it up for Fitzroy. Melbourne have the players running past. Here's Healy again. Ducked into it. The umpire called play on. So Healy gets the hand pass away. The short one goes straight onto the chest of Williams. Coming from Yates.
Williams kicks the ball towards full forward. Good looking kick centering. Mark taken by Ironmonger. Free kick picked out by umpire Vernon. It'll go to Melbourne, and Campbell is the recipient.
Well, well, he's got the football, I suppose. There was something in it. I think Laurie was a bit stiff then. However, it was there. Campbell now lining up, and this will be a very, very important goal from about 35 yards out from about a 37-degree angle.
Campbell hooks his kick just enough to miss, and second behind on the board to Melbourne. 3-2-20, and they lead by 7 points.
Watching this kick out now, they've used Ironmonger for the first kick out. It'll be interesting again now to see whether they use Ironmonger as the P, and all the smaller blokes run to him.
Kick in will be done by Laurie. Always covers good ground. Grant Laurie over the 50-metre line. Melbourne coming back in. Bailey off to Wilson. Wilson trying to get onto his right foot. Greg Healy, 10th possession, misses.
Looking important miss. Fitzroy really did do it very well with Ironmonger then from the kick out. What they've got to do now is get a bit quicker to Ironmonger. They've set the play up. You can see all the Fitzroy players milling in the middle of the ground. What they've got to do now is get quicker back to Ironmonger.
Laurie, another long kick back into play over the back, and a chance for Gale. He's clear. The hand pass across to Roos. Steadies with a drop punt over the 50-metre line the target, and he finds it.
Have you ever seen a quicker piece of play from out of the back? Almost perfect play with a tap on and a great delivery. Lions should, from this angle here, after Healy's first goal in the first quarter, should kick it from here.
He's some 35 metres out. The drop punt on its way. Made no mistake, straight through the middle.
While all Australia celebrates the bicentenary, we've got something to celebrate too. Our 75th Diamond Jubilee. We're offering fabulous celebration deals on Magna Sedan, brilliant savings on Triton four-wheel drive double cab, and up to $2,000 off Pajero. Altogether, over $1 million worth of savings on vehicles in our range. Cash in on our celebration deals at your participating Mitsubishi dealer right away. Catch us while we're celebrating.
Centre bounce. Fitzroy fighting back, 2 points the margin. Grinter chasing. Possession now. Clears with a left foot kick down towards the centre wing area. Gale comes over the top of Wilson, tries to affect the spoil. Wilson still has possession at the bottom. Play on is the call. The Demons a chance through handball to go forward. It's Jackson who finishes with it. Steadies in towards full forward. Campbell.
Preston got an excellent pair of hands, very elusive and deceptive, and once again great running play by the Melbourne side to end up with Jackson. And once again Campbell, who missed had an ordinary kick his last shot at goal, so this time it's most important for Melbourne to kick back after Fitzroy's last goal.
45 metres out. Here's the drop punt from Campbell. He makes no mistake. Goal for goal at the moment at VFL Park.
Just watching him kick the ball then, Sandy. It was a goal, but he does let the ball go two hands and it just screws off the side occasionally. That time it worked. He's got an excellent one grab mark too. And just that technique in kicking, as he lets the ball go two hands, he must guide the ball down a lot, hold onto the ball a lot longer, and I'm sure he'd kick a lot more goals.
He has one tonight. Wilson one. Also Yates and Healy. They're the scorers for Melbourne. While for Fitzroy, Keane, Lyon and Harris all have singles.
Or could have been given a free kick against you there, Brian Wilson, for shepherding Ironmonger out. The play still very close to the centre circle. Umpire Vernon decides that another bounce should take place. And there's Fitzroy's best recruit, Ross Lyon, who's only played 2 games last year. He's already had 8 possessions in this match so far. Ironmonger gets the tap out. Chance for Jackson. Kick around the corner towards centre-half forward. Oh, what a great mark taken by Yates.
Well, actually, that was excellent play by all players. All had their eye on the ball, and Yates judged it better.
Yates's kick towards centre-half forward. Off to Viney. Poor kick by Viney. Campbell again in the van, in the forward pocket. The bounce is elusive, and it goes over. We'll have a throw in some 25, 30 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Steins to do the ruck work. Jimmy Steins wouldn't have very fond memories of VFL Park. The last time he was here, what a shocker. Big punch away by Ironmonger, goes over the boundary line, and we'll have another throw in. This time it's a little further away from the Melbourne goal. The scoreboard, the Demons leading by 8 points. 27 plays 19.
Here's the throw in. Just on 14 minutes of this second term remaining. Dean trying to crash his way through.
Oh, excuse me.
And he has lost the football. It will be Leon Harris.
The rule book says you must have reasonable chance to get rid of it. It was a bit tough, I thought.
Harris short. Ironmonger. At centre-half back. Goes with a wobbly-looking kick in towards the middle. It's going to make it tough, particularly for Taylor, who he was looking for. And he's lost it. Play on is the call. Jackson long in towards full forward, but Campbell's behind on this occasion. Laurie, however, can't take the mark. Healy can. Gets it across to his teammate there in Williams. He's under plenty of pressure. Hooks towards goal. Second goal. Great football.
Only one man can bring the world to its knees, and only one man can stop him. Sylvester Rambo Stallone in the explosive excitement of Nighthawks.
Welcome to the United States.
Hamer Reinhardt, occupation international terrorist.
There's no security.
Dick De Silva, occupation cop.
Let him go.
Star Wars Billy D. Williams.
Why the hell can't you change?
And Lindsay Wagner. Nerve-shattering suspense. Nighthawks, presented by Birdseye, 8:30 Sunday.
Melbourne doing it well, leading by 14 points. 13 minutes to go in the second quarter of the first quarter-final of the Panasonic Cup. O'Dwyer, chance for Thomas. Fitzroy could go into attack. Harris's kick, well smothered by Sharon. Desperate stakes, Dean Sharon, but Osborne's there for Fitzroy. Up towards full forward, good punch away. Here's Lyon again. 9th possession is a goal. Fitzroy's third.
I'll just reiterate what I said before. showed a good sense of judgment. That right-handed punch back into the centre, and we had 12 points the difference at 8 points the difference at the moment, and Lyon really is busy up forward. Here is again that punch back to the middle because he's a right-handed puncher, and a nice little chip to the front of the goal score, and up through it ran.
Just over 12 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Lyon has kicked 2 goals for Fitzroy, and they've closed the gap. 8 points is the margin. Centre bounce once again. A pretty good crowd in attendance at VFL Park for this quarter-final. Ironmonger under plenty of pressure. Here goes Lyon again, long up towards full forward. Now it's Fitzroy applying the pressure. Who's waiting down? Conlon tries to storm his way through. Roos, a little chip in towards full forward. The mark not taken by Harris. Play on is the call. Conlon goes to ground. The Melbourne defence under great pressure, and it's Stretch who takes it over the line.
I thought Conlon was a bit stiff there. He went to grab the ball and back out of the pack. It just slipped through his fingers.
Fitzroy making the interchange. Loken off, and Armstrong coming onto the ground. O'Dwyer and Keane. Lyon in trouble. Osborne, a high kick. Back towards goal. It's swinging back. It's a great goal.
What tremendous skills from Richard Osborne. And that is the perfect way to kick the ball round your body. Turn the ball a shade on the side, with Ross Lyon giving out the handball again. Very creative. Started off very well. Ross Lyon, great. Isn't that great evasion and great awareness from the young Ross Lyon? And what a fantastic kick that curled around. And what a great game.
When he first started, Ross Lyon, he was potentially the recruit of the year. He missed most of 1986, I think it was. And now he's back again in the Fitzroy jumper. There he is again on the bottom of the pack. Handball out to Taylor. Taylor's over the top, up towards centre-half forward. There's a chance for Keane. Demons intercept. Grinter comes away through half-back and kicks it long, 60 metres. Here's Laurie streaming out of defence. He'll turn defence into attack with a beautiful 60-metre kick. Up towards centre-half forward. The ball bouncing from one end of the ground to the other. A kick comes out towards full forward. A tap on by Harris. Is Roos quick enough? He's smothered by Lovett. Taken to the ground, holding the ball, says umpire Vernon. And the free kick will go to Lovett in the last line of defence for the Demons.
So Lovett defending stoutly. Ironmonger over the top. The ball will be kept in play. It's going to be, in fact, a free kick down the ground. And so it will bring Melbourne 50 metres closer to their attacking zone. The kick is a good one. Gale tries to push it sideways, but taken by Jackson. Healy is running down the centre. A clever tap on by Healy brings his teammate Johnson into it. The ball to ground once, then he flicks it over his shoulder, in towards full forward. O'Dwyer can't take the mark. Viney waits down, gets it across to Dean. He's in trouble. He's still got the ball, trying to pick it up and get out of the pack. He can't do so, and umpire Clayton will come in and have a bounce.
Stiff there, the Demons, weren't they? Viney's handball only had to be 1 metre further.
On the 10-metre square line, the big fist clear. At the back is Osborne. Possession now. Clear. A punt kick tumbles across the centre. Roos pushes it wide. He needs support. Towards the boundary line it goes. And in fact over. So throw in to take place. 5-3, 33 Melbourne. Fitzroy 5-1, 31. The margin just 2 points. From the tap in. Williams kick, but socket off the ground. Could be good for Wilson. He needs the player going past. Stretch, beautifully tackled by Harris. Goes to ground, loses the football, and Fitzroy out of trouble. Armstrong was pushing it clear across to Conlon. Conlon steadies up towards the 50-metre line. He was looking for Keane, but back to Spalding to take the mark.
I think he's a bit lucky there too. I really do believe that he was off. But he's very lucky to get away with it.
Well, Spalding, given the benefit of the doubt, kicks the ball wide, looking out there for Steins. Takes half an hour to turn around, but eventually gets the kick up towards the wing. And what a good mark taken by Bolzon. Bolzon plays on, gives it to Pert. Slick handball by Pert. Peak and well tackled by Dean. Here it comes to Viney. Viney up towards full forward, and a good safe mark taken by Laurie, who made a couple of mistakes early in the game, but certainly tidied up in the second quarter. Here it is in Pert's hands at half back. He gets the kick away, goes 60 metres plus up towards half forward. A punch on at the back. Taylor, well met by Hughes. Unfairly, says umpire Vernon, and Taylor will take a strooper, rather, for Fitzroy. Kicks it into the forward pocket, and the mark will be taken by Conlon. A little bit too late on the scene was Jim Steins, and Nick Conlon will take the mark in the forward pocket, some 40 metres out from goal.
Yes, Conlon certainly waiting for that extra 50 metres that he may have got. Now, as he goes back to take a line-up, I think from that angle there, Michael Conlon generally has a shot at goal, and I don't think this will be any exception at this particular time.
Steady in his approach, favouring the drop punt. The kick from Conlon, I think. 1 point. The Lions continue to close the gap. And it's been a very even competition this first half, with no side able to clearly break away. Big Steins has it taken by Thomas. Across to Ruse. He steadies in towards full forward, but there's no one there for him. Dan Hughes takes the mark. Plays on quickly with a hand pass, and once again Melbourne are able to get out of trouble. Down towards half forward. A push, and then clear will be Bailey. He goes up towards centre half forward. Campbell the target. The ball pushed down in front. Looking for the free was Healy. Back to Campbell as play on was called. Down towards the pocket, and there to take the mark is Williams.
Actually, Williams has been fairly lively up forward. He is a very good one-grab player. We know he probably just lacks a yard in pace, but he has those elusive skills that do set up chances for his teammates up forward, and we know he can kick a goal. So, once again, there's deadlock of a game. If Williams has a shot at goal, and he's dragged that one right across the face of it to the left-hand side, so the difference now is 2 points in Melbourne's favour.
Dwyer, the big Melbourne ruckman, having a spell. 5-4, plays 5-2 as Pert brings the football back into play. A lovely looking drop punt. Osborne will be one of the flyers. Can't complete the mark. He was under plenty of pressure. Who's first to it? Viney. Tackled beautifully by Osborne. Now a chance for Fitzroy to get clear. Ruse gives it across to his teammate in Armstrong. Armstrong towards the 50-metre line at centre half forward. Hughes tries to tap it clear, but they're all Fitzroy players waiting down. An opportunity for Ruse. He's followed it down. Takes the hand pass in towards Conlon. Can't take it, however. Still an opportunity. It's with Harris. Flicks it over his shoulder and has kicked the goal. Great goal by Harris. That is his second after booting one in the first quarter. And I tell you what, if Fitzroy supporters are happy, the gentleman in screen is a Fitzroy supporter in Glenn Taylor. And, well, Glenn has declared that he is going to be a Lion. So naturally enough, he would be fairly happy at the moment.
Six kicks and 6 hand passes to Ross Lyon, who was again the initiator behind that Fitzroy goal. Back in the centre, Steins and Ironmonger. Ironmonger doing well. Here's a chance for Melbourne to come clear. Over the top, Johnson. Chance for Wilson. Just outside 50 metres. Long kick. Jackson there. Backed up Stevens for Fitzroy. Jackson tries to break clear. Kick off the ground. All close, but goes over for a boundary throw in 35 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Melbourne doing it well. Well, it's a close tussle. Both teams playing exceptional football in perfect conditions at VFL Park. Chance for Gale. Off to Pert. Pert's kick around the corner. Goes to half-back. Melbourne a chance to go back into attack through stretch. Standing position. His kick covers 40 metres into the pocket. A free kick being given away by Pert on Williams. And Williams for Melbourne will take the free kick some 60 metres out from goal. Campbell doing the leading. Williams does the passing. It's over his head and the mark's been taken in defence by Stevens. He gets it off to Gale. Gale's got a little bit of space. He kicks it further forward. Thomas has made good position. Good tackle by Johnson. Free kick given by umpire Vernon. And it's It'll go back to half-back where Thomas will take the kick for Fitzroy.
Stephen Stretch has now picked up Paul Roos, and Grinch has gone on to Conlon. Paul Roos just starting to get in the game, and I think that he's going to try and run Roos around.
Bolton gets it across to Pert, into attack once again, but Hughes is the stumbling block, drops what he should have taken, lets in Osborne, he fires in towards full forward, and a free kick will go the way of Melbourne on that last line of defence for a push. Quickly, they're out of trouble because Healy is on the outer side. He has possession now. Ball to ground once. Steadies. Has a look up in towards the middle and spears out a beautiful pass finding Williams. Plays on quickly. The hand pass is good. Viney's kick down towards the 55-metre line. Play on as the call as no mark is paid. Melbourne fans not happy, but Conlon has possession. Goes for a bounce. It's an awkward one. In towards the middle. Bolton setting up the hand pass. He decides to go long. Over the 50-metre line. Plenty of pushing and shoveling and jostling. No mark paid. Harris is at the back. Goes past Hughes. Gets it across to a teammate. An opportunity for Roos. He steps at goal and puts it through.
Well, they're running in numbers, Fitzroy. They both play a very similar type of game, and it is a very attractive game to watch. They race up and down the ground very quickly. There's a lot of loose players around. One mistake. Stretch actually used his body pretty well then. Cross line with the handball out wide. And a great tap on here. And Roos just a nice little chip at goals. And marvellously finishing off. So they do both play very similarly.
Yes, they do. It's well, for that reason, it's a pretty even contest. The ball going from one end to the other very, very quickly. We saw Leon Harris limping just before we went back to the centre. There's that man again, Lyon. Kicks it around the corner. Roos flies high, can't mark. Chance for Grinter. Handball off. Love it. Now there's a chance for the Demons to come clear. Sharon on to Bailey. Bailey out towards half forward looking for Williams. Wilson is there in support, can't mark. Dragged to the ground was Taylor for Fitzroy. Melbourne come forward again and Dean takes the mark about 60 metres, or it's probably 65 metres out from their goal. Half forward flank member side, he plays on. Not a bad kick with the left foot. It's a beauty up towards the front of the goal square. At the back, Campbell. Here's Johnson. Kicks a goal for Melbourne. Right on the siren, Alan Johnson kicks Melbourne's sixth goal. And at half-time, it's 4 points in favour of Fitzroy.
Yes, Fitzroy 7-2, Melbourne 6-4. And what a great game of football we've seen from both sides. All players giving their all as they leave the ground and go down into the dressing rooms. But absolutely nothing in it at the moment. And I think members of both sides could feel pretty satisfied with the work they've done in this opening half. And it's anybody's game at this stage of proceedings. Richard Osborne going down into the Lions' den, as are all Fitzroy players. Tim Pekin wearing 24. Paul Roos kicked 1 goal in that quarter. And the Demons, Williams and Bailey, have all been great contributors. And perhaps a fitting result as it shows on the score, because at half-time we find Melbourne 6-4-40. They trail, but only by 4 points. Fitzroy 7-2-44.
Mercedes-Benz engineering has led the development of the automobile for 100 years. And there has always been a clear distinction between the best in the world and others. Mercedes multi-link suspension sets new standards. The ABS computer maximizes braking control. The application of advanced aerodynamic principles always keeps the side windows clear of water and the tail lights clear of dust and dirt. The fuel tank is located centrally, the safest place. The entire car can be lifted by the strength of its door locks. And the body is a rigid steel safety cell. Superior safety systems and ergonomics leave the driver calm and relaxed. These are automobiles so technologically advanced, you are barely aware of the technology. Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car.
While some small business operators waste the day waiting for appointments, others have found a way to make the most of their time. Get on the phone and get on with business.
There's a lot more to budget than regular car rental. So if you want a driver, hey Greg, budget can do. Chauffeur drive is part of our service, and service is what drives us.
Hey, the original Passiona's back.
Passiona's back. Passiona's back. Passiona's back.
What's that?
Hey, Passiona's back. With real passion fruit juice.
Hey guys, did you hear that?
Passiona's back.
Everybody's saying Passiona's back.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Passiona with passion fruit.
Passiona's back.
The original Passiona with real passion fruit juice.
It's back.
Good evening. A man stabbed in the Channel 7 foyer is tonight in a stable condition in Prince Henry's Hospital.
I haven't looked down his...
This afternoon, just before he was to be interviewed for the Hinch show, Mackay was stabbed 4 times in the back in front of stunned employees who rushed to his aid. The attacker fled and 2 staff members gave chase. A man was arrested in the city just over an hour after the stabbing. Police are expecting to charge a man tonight in connection with the attack. The weather fine tomorrow with a top of 30 degrees. Clive Robertson will have more news at 11 o'clock. For now, from me, good night.
It's half-time at VFL Park, and after a 5-goal burst by Fitzroy in the second quarter, they lead 7-2-44. Melbourne 6-4-40. Just 4 points in it, and a great game of football. Wherever you're watching on the Australian television network, I certainly hope that you're enjoying it. There are the dressing room scenes at the moment, and no doubt both coaches pretty pleased with what their players have given their fans to date in this very important game of football. Well, speaking of football and what happens as far as news is concerned in football, when you want to find out, then there's only one man to talk to. That is Scott Palmer and Punchlines.
Good evening and welcome to Punchlines. Fitzroy has had some hush-hush committee room talks on the future of Tiger Terry Wallace, but believe the transfer fee could be too steep for them to handle. Hawthorn is waiting anxiously to hear the results of stress tests on its favoured son, John Kennedy, who's been suffering irregular heartbeats. The tests were carried out today, and we wish John all the best. The Hawks, too, rely upon a message to state selectors that their champ Dermot Breton would be at risk if he was asked to play 2 bicentennial games and then play in next Wednesday's Panasonic Cup game. The prospect of meeting a $250,000 transfer fee is keeping rival clubs away from Essendon's Glenn Hawker, but I'm told Shane Hurd is close to accepting terms structured by the Bombers. Jimmy Cracker has thrown WA state plans into turmoil today by requiring an operation on his ankle. I don't think North Melbourne will be too delighted either. Now remember last year when 2 players, Brian Wilson and Robbie Flower, had their fingers broken by catching them in lace-up Guernseys. The Guernseys were banned for this year. But here's a scoop. Geelong will submit an alternate plan to the VFL tomorrow. The Cats like the style and want to replace the lace with a zip. You can't catch anything in a zip, or can you? Keep punching.
He's unbelievable, Scott Palmer, but he certainly finds out all the news that's happening in football. Well, I wonder what's happening down in the dressing rooms at the moment. Let's go down to the Melbourne rooms. Here's Dixie Marsh.
Well, Sandy, Melbourne bustled into the rooms. They really do have an air of arrogance about them these days, a sense of invincibility, and that last goal certainly helped. John Northey's job of keeping them on their feet was done very quickly and efficiently. A few words of advice here, a pat on the back there. His main pushers keep awake on the forward line, tighten up their disposal, tighten up their tackling, and really in the back line work a little bit harder for the ball. He's now taking them behind closed doors, as you can see, to work on a new strategy, a new plan of attack. As for injuries, Sandys, there are very few, just a quick rub down here behind me, but a full complement of players for the second half.
Right, thank you, Dixie. We'll take a break and return in just a moment to VFL Park with our halftime summary.
Sunday night, Alps run away from home.
I hear you're looking for a few good monks.
Catch the Fuzzball Friar, 7:30 Sunday on 7.
So this is the getaway machine. By Jove! Well done, Foster.
It's got the big 1.8 litre Holden engine, sir. A fuel injection, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. How many of us escaping, Sergeant Major?
Just the 3, sir.
Good Lord, man. You could fit a family in here.
Plenty of room in here too, sir.
Gotta get away, gotta get an Astra.
The all-new Astra sedan from Holden.
The Australian Bicentennial Exhibition, sponsored by BHP.
For people in the heartland of Australia, away from the capitals, this unique exhibition is bringing Australia's celebrations to their front yards.
30 prime movers are taking the exhibition to country centres and towns around the nation.
Its themes are as diverse as our country.
Our past, present and future. Our identity, journeys and the environment. This self-contained mobile town is a journey of discovery, a piecing together of the elements that have forged the unique Australian character.
For decades, BHP has supported community and cultural projects, from local swimming pools to the Pursuit of Excellence awards. But this exhibition is a gift to all Australians.
A gift made possible by Australia's BHP.
If you change your oil yourself, you deserve the high-performance engine oil, ELF. ELF oils have been protecting Formula One racing engines for decades. ELF is now available in Australia. So if you change your oil yourself, use ELF. Available at all Kmart and Target stores.
What is it about Smith's crinkle-cut potato crisps that make them so irresistible to gobbledocks? The taste. The delicious, tantalizing, real potato taste. Smith's Crinkle Cut, the only chippies with real potato taste. Ask any gobbledoc.
Here is the result of Tattersalls' weekly sweep, drawn today under government supervision and supplied to Channel 7 by Tattersalls. Full results in tomorrow's Sun.
Back in 1982, Melbourne's Brian Wilson joined the most elite band of footballers in the nation. His name was added to the list of champions who've won the game's highest individual award, the Charles Brownlow Medal. Since that cherished moment in his career, Wilson has had more than his fair share of injuries, but they haven't dulled his enthusiasm for the Demons. Widely regarded as a wonderfully gifted player, Wilson's position in the pivot is vital to his teammates upfield, while he's no stranger to goals himself.
Well, there have been some great performers in the first half here at VFL Park tonight, and Brian Wilson is certainly amongst them. He's had 10 possessions for the evening, and gentlemen, a game that I think we're very lucky to witness, because it really is a great game of footy.
Well, I think it's a bonus that we're playing at this time of the year, really. I mean, in these conditions, the two teams are very fit, and their first half of this match has been great. I mean, players like Greg Healy, who started off in sensational fashion, Ross Lyon, who I mentioned, probably Fitzroy's best recruit after only playing a couple of games last year. Players like O'Dwyer, we're looking for him to improve in the ruck for Melbourne. Jimmy Steins, Malcolm, a lot of these guys are probably a little bit unfamiliar to you, but the football's been tremendous so far. Oh, it has been excellent football. As we just watched Campbell kick a goal then, the player on him, Grant Laurie, I think after that has really hunted up and done some great dashes from defence. Their defence looks good. Gary Pert's an interesting one. Just looks a shade overweight to me and not quite as fluent as he was, let's just say, 18 months ago. But obviously the run will do him good. I think that where Melbourne are getting into trouble is across their half-back line. Sporting's picking up Keane, and they're really having trouble finding the right player for Roos. Roos has been a damaging player without being a sensational player, but he has caused them enormous headaches. He can mark and he can run. And here he is just setting up a piece of play here. He actually gets this one back, and this is the advantage of Paul Roos. There's a punch back to the centre of the ground again, and here comes Roos again with a great run up the ground to set something up again. I think that what Melbourne have got to do is try and decide where Sporting plays. Either he plays on Keane, or they bring someone else out, and he goes back onto Roos. Well, I think that probably the difference between the two sides, I mean, it's only 4 points on the scoreboard, but the Lions have just been a little bit more direct, a little bit more polished with their football. Players handling the ball a little bit surer than the Demons. I like the way the ball's gone from one end of the ground to the other, and as I said, the football has been really good. The statistics show, perhaps, well, Melbourne leading in the kicks, marks the Demons in front. Handball's always important in modern-day football. Very close there, and really, I think it indicates that there is not much in the game. No, probably because Fitzroy tend to attack through the Roos way, which is he's generally running back. He's a very deceptive player, runs forward and back, and creates a lot of space at the back. And you'll find Roos dropping out the back and being very direct towards goal. Hence the less kicks.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for that report. Let's go down now to the Fitzroy rooms, and here's Peter Donegan. Pete.
And Sandy, as you come down, the players just leaving the rooms now. David Parkin was quick to take them behind closed doors as soon as they came in here at half-time. But I'd say there'd be a few things, even though we couldn't hear what David had to say. He must be pleased once again with the form of John Ironmonger, who performed so well in the first game. Of course, Ross Lyon has had umpteen possessions in the first half. I think David would also be pleased a bit more with the way the handball went in the second quarter. But really is nip and tuck, and I think the players know that there's still a game to be won, Sandy.
There certainly is, yes, just 4 points the margin, and at this stage of proceedings, anybody's game. We'll return to VFL Park right after this break.
There's a lot more to budget than regular car rental. So if you want a driver, hey Greg, budget can do. Chauffeur drive is part of our service, and service is what drives us.
I'll take you to places that you've never been. I'll show you the world. I'll share in your dreams. 'Cause I know the feelings that you're going through. I'm an Australian like you. And when the time comes to turn homewards again, I'll be there waiting like an old friend.
In the new family circle, Japanese made easy with delightful Japanese meals.
Oh, mia mamma legge family circle.
Make an Italian dinner party in just 30 minutes. Exciting entertaining with our best ever barbecues. Superb christening robes for baby's special day. And 7,000 women have quite a message for politicians in our Australia-wide survey.
All in this month's family circle now.
My mum reads family circle. Does yours?
Now, the cup of tea you have every day needn't be an everyday cup of tea. Because now Twining's English breakfast tea is affordably priced in tag bags, in packs of 100.
Too heavy.
Come on! Heavy food can hit the road, 'cause now we've seen the light. Fiendish lean cuisine is here and it tastes so good. All right! It's light, it's lean cuisine. Tonight, excite your tired appetite. Delicious and light, lean cuisine. Very first bite will show what we mean.
Delicious and light, lean cuisine.
It's light, it's lean cuisine.
On the Golden Girls.
You think I should tell Rose and Blanche?
Meet Dorothy's girlfriend.
Jean is a nice person. She happens to like girls instead of guys. Some people like cats instead of dogs. Frankly, I'd rather live with a lesbian than a cat.
In one of the funniest episodes you'll ever see.
Dorothy, why can't you be more like Jean? Scratch that.
You'll know why this show has won so many awards.
Jean has the hots for Rose.
Not just for writing, but for great performances.
To think Jean would prefer Rose over me? That's ridiculous.
Saturday.
Welcome back this Saturday night. It's the second quarter-final in the Panasonic Cup, and it should be a great game too. Richmond and Geelong here at VFL Park. And of course, our coverage beginning live at 8:30. But now we're concerned with the second half of the first quarter-final. There are just 4 points separating Fitzroy and Melbourne in a great game of football. Chance there for Fitzroy to go forward again through line, up towards centre-half forward. He had 14 possessions in the first half. Caught with the ball was Strooper. Plays on, out wide, Grinter. Tap on the ground. Viney, the ball close to the boundary line. There's been a free kick picked out of it by umpire Clayton, and it looks as though it might go to Todd Viney, back at half-back for the Demons. Fairly constructive with a lot of aggressive work in the first half was Todd Viney. Held with the ball, and umpire Vernon will bounce. It was Dean there for Melbourne, and we've got a bounce on centre wing.
Aren't a lot of changes at the moment. I don't expect both coaches would be pretty happy with what's happened in the first half, so there's been very little change to the sides that lined up at the start of the game.
Fitzroy a chance now to come streaming forward out of the half-back line. They go up towards centre-half forward. Fisted clear. Now the race is on, and it will be the Lions first to it. Thomas solidly met, and down he goes. Play on is the call. He got it out to Keane. His kick was smothered. Picked up by Steins. A hurried kick goes back towards the centre. Taken by Healy. Melbourne on a charge now. Back to Healy. It came from Bailey. He steadies. Goes up towards half forward. Over the top it goes. At the back, here's an opportunity. It's only got to be picked up by Dean. But plenty of pressure on.
Gary Pert, the quickest he's looked all night. He really had to go then, and I'm not sure that Dean waited for the ball to sit up, and it's a good lesson. You must always drive hard at the football.
Yeah, I thought poor play by Dean, Malcolm. He could have gone a lot more desperately at that football. Steins and Ironmonger. Chance for Laurie. Gets the ball to centre-half back. Overrunning it was Strooper. Off to McGrath. McGrath back to Strooper. Strooper to the wing. Good mark taken by Chiron. Does a lot of unnoticed work, does Dean Chiron. Off to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer's kick to centre-half forward. Steins at the back. Pert's under pressure. Now Gale. Williams for Melbourne. Gets the handball away. Viney, a punch on. Bailey's there. So is Wilson. His kick goes out. Chance for Stevens. A bit of non-productive football there for the last 15 or 20 seconds, and we'll have a bounce at centre-half forward. There's Matt Rendell in the coach's box with David Parkin as the calm, cool, collected David Parkin uses the telephone. Steins, Viney, here's a chance for Bailey. Up to full forward, Campbell into an open goal, and Tony Campbell kicks his second for the Demons.
Excellent play then by Brett Bailey to get that quick kick out. I think that Grant Laurie has played in front. And I mentioned during that second quarter, he has played in front, and the percentages are going to be with him from those quick kicks out of the pack. And I'd always prefer to see a player in defence try and stand from, keep in front. He was a bit stiff then. The kick was an inch in it, and Campbell kicks a very easy goal. But I think the percentage is going to be with Grant Laurie throughout the night.
2 goals to Campbell. And the scoreboard seesawing. Melbourne now leading by 2 points, 7-4, 46. Fitzroy, 7-2, 44. We have just over 22 minutes of this third quarter remaining. That is the official countdown time. So you'll know exactly when the siren is going to go. From the centre, Melbourne through Healy, trying to get it forward once again. They try desperately as Stretch loses the football. O'Dwyer taps it on. Did well for a big fella. Stretch loses it. So too Ironmonger. Jackson held. Play on. The advantage paid as Healy comes away. A long kick. Melbourne into attack again. Steins, was he giving a slight push? The umpire said no, he didn't. And so players allowed to go on. Gale missed what he should have taken. This lets Melbourne in again. Down towards Campbell. He seemed to charge into his opponent. Lost the football. Now goes in to apply the tackle with Burt coming in over the top. And the umpire decides upon a bounce. Demons by Devil. Yes. Well, they lead at the moment, but it's only a couple of points. Campbell sees that hurried kick race over the line for another behind. The margin is 3 points. Tremendous to see the Demons doing so well after their great year in 1987. Laurie's kick goes to half-back member's side. Bit of a race on here. Johnson back to Lovett, who did well Off to Williams. Oh, Williams has put Bailey under enormous pressure, but Bailey's equal to the task. He gets the ball out, only to find Strooper. Strooper onto Bolson. Bolson into the forward pocket area. Leon Harris. Sharon the Desperado sees the ball safely over, and we'll have a throw in 55 metres around from the Fitzroy goal.
David Parkin's definitely trying something with the kickoffs, and so far they really haven't come off. A lot of the Fitzroy players are mulling around, and one player's racing away. Melbourne players are reading it better and getting to the fall of the ball a lot quicker at this stage.
Dwyer probably needs to show a little bit more aggression. Osborne's kick from the standing start goes about 30 metres, and in front, play on, says the umpire. Kick around the corner into the pocket. The mark's been taken by Harris. The kicker was Strooper. Harris. Very, very difficult shot. But who's going to tip this one?
He's going for his third goal. Probably the breeze is just against him a bit there. It'll fade across, and that's exactly what it's done.
Mark's been taken by O'Dwyer right on the goal line, and the young Melbourne ruckman kicks it back into play, puts his teammate Yates under a lot of pressure, stretches there to back up, runs into a couple of Fitzroy players but gets it away. Bowles on intercepts. Inexperience, he had to give it to Conlon. Conlon goes back to Armstrong. Armstrong's kicked a great goal for Fitzroy.
There's a lot more to budget than regular car rental. So if you want a driver, hey Greg, budget can do. Chauffeur drive is part of our service, and service is what drives us.
This Saturday from 12 noon, Victoria's richest two-year-old race, the $400,000 Hang 10 Blue Diamond, plus the St George Stakes and the Caulfield Autumn Classic. Blue Diamond Stakes Day, live and exclusive to 7 Sport.
7-5 plays 8-2 to Fitzroy, so they now have wrestled back the lead. We have just over 19 minutes remaining in this third quarter. O'Dwyer wins a mighty thump from the centre, but straight to Pekin. His hand pass was partly smothered. In fact, the umpire's taken that back, and he's giving the free kick to the Demons. It'll be taken by Dean. He's a long kicker of a football when he gets onto it. Slews that off the side of the boot. Waiting down is Healy, needs support, he pushes it out wide. Lyon is there, looks for the player going past, finds Blakey. A hurried kick to centre wing, rues the target, but having to do it from behind. And a good mark taken for Melbourne by Stretch. Plays on with the hand pass and they're out of trouble. Down to the forward line, it's Healy again. He wobbles a punt down towards Campbell. Got too far underneath it. Ironmonger onto the left foot with a hurried kick back towards the half-back flank. Coming over the top was Pekin. Waiting right at the back is Yates. Keeps the ball in play. Danger though. Stretch, a high kick down towards the half-forward line, some 60 metres out from goal. And a good mark taken by Dean. Plays on. But once again, Laurie in front. Too good for Campbell. Through a chain of hand passes, they'll get out of it. Oh, he just got it away in time, and eventually it did come unstuck. Now Melbourne an opportunity. Healy receiving from Dean. Steadies, fires in towards goal, and has kicked it. Great goal to Healy. His second after beating one in the first. And now Melbourne regain the lead.
Well, he kicked a goal there from a set shot position, and he almost had a player as an option running by then. You'll see the kick from Dean. He had a player, Williams, with the option, but he backed himself in and kicked truly for his second goal from almost identical position as the first quarter.
Well, my criticism might be severe, but I think it was Grant Laurie who came out of defence and gave a couple of handballs to players standing still. And I really can't see any advantage in that. He might as well have grabbed it and kicked it 60 metres. And here we see a Melbourne goal. Ironmonger now gets the ball away to Harris. Harris has kicked a half forward. Oh, the young fellow, a little bit of inexperience. Sharon there to tidy up. It was Strooper that dropped the mark. The ball at half forward for Fitzroy. It's been rushed over the boundary line before Strooper can get to it. And we'll have a boundary throw in. 65, 70 metres around from the Fitzroy goal.
Interesting your comment then, Ian, about player standing still, and I agree wholeheartedly. However, if you see a teammate getting for the ball, the idea of the game is to start running, and I think it goes both ways. Not only was it Laurie's fault, but I think the Fitzroy team fell down then.
Melbourne coming clear through Lovett up towards the wing area. Pert and Dean. Blakey takes the crumbs, kicks it into the centre. Fitzroy, here's a chance now. Armstrong kicks the ball towards the forward pocket area. Good mark, and it's not before time. Paul Roos hasn't taken many overheads, and he's 45 metres out from goal and a chance for Fitzroy's ninth. Good-looking kick by Roos, straight through the centre. Beautiful goal, second to Roos.
Tomorrow at 6 on Home and Away.
She's been trying to bust up this family ever since she met you.
That's rubbish.
Oh, Roo, love, don't you call me love. Don't you even speak to me.
That's enough. When young Ruth first learned her dad was to remarry, she was furious. At first, he thought it was a natural reaction, but slowly he's begun to realise that she'll stop at nothing to drive the woman he loves out of town.
Young Missy's heading for the biggest fall she's ever had.
Home and Away at 6 tomorrow, just before the news on 7.
9-2 Fitzroy regaining the lead. Melbourne are 8-5, but only 3 points the difference and just under 17 minutes remaining in this third quarter. So still no side able to break clear in this all-important quarter-final. Bailey sets Melbourne into attack. Down towards the half-forward line. He was looking for Dean, but caught behind on this occasion. Blakey runs his full distance, gets it across to Pekin. Another hand pass. Osborne goes to ground, looking for the free kick. Sees he's not going to get it, and in fact has lost it.
Made a correct decision too, I thought. He can't lie over the ball like that. The player actually missed him. He did, I guess, charade for the free, but I mean, you've still got to get on with the game.
And that's exactly what Melbourne are doing through Lovett. Down towards full forward. Big O'Dwyer is there. Support from Campbell. Ironmonger uses his body well to do the heavy work. Harris looking for someone running past. Finds it now. Armstrong steadies. Goes up towards the half-forward line. In fact, it was Gale's kick. But once again, Sharon is there. Gets the hand pass clear. And Melbourne, pretty cohesive unit as they go from the back line through Lovett up towards the half-forward line where Johnson takes the mark on left half-forward flank. Johnson swings around and kicks the ball into the forward pocket area. It's a mark. O'Dwyer, clean mark.
Yes, it's definitely a mark. Big fella used his body pretty well. Interesting in watching a replay of that was notice that why it was 2 grabs once again was because he had bent arms. He must learn to point the fingers at the football. Here we go again. You'll find he's used the body pretty well. See the bent arms rather than straight outstretched arms.
O'Dwyer punts for goal. Poor kick by the big fellow and through for a behind to Melbourne when a goal would have put them back in the lead. 2 points Fitzroy lead by in an interesting game. The first quarter final. Laurie kicks the ball in to Stevens. Stevens back pocket, out of side. Looking for the hand pass. I just cannot believe that. That man had no chance, Gale. Stevens goes in. Pekin, Laurie, Melbourne tackling well. But Fitzroy just might be up to it. They get out through Armstrong. Pert, the experienced man, kept it all steady. Up towards the wing. Here's Lyon, creative. Handball off to Conlon. Conlon's got Akers. Forced to kick with the left foot. Right up into the square. Osborne punched through for a behind by Lovett.
Good heavens, he had his name on that then. He really did have the ride, and it was a great defensive work by Lovett then.
So 1 point goes on the board. Grinter brings the ball back into play. Viney towards Bailey. Doesn't try and mark. Taps it over the back and does it well to Steins. The big fellow steadies. Puts one in towards the left half-forward flank. Towards the line and over. Great hassling. Dean and Pert, the 2 players involved in that pressurised attack.
Excellent play then by Gary Pert to knock the ball out of the hands. Kept his eye on the football, which is a great lesson.
Here's the throw-in. Steins in front, Ironmonger. The ball comes to ground. An attempted soccer by Armstrong. Clear. Sharon. Good work. To Spalding. Melbourne into attack again, down towards their half-forward line. Big O'Dwyer waiting in the square. Can someone get it over to him? Viney tries to. Pert, an aggressive tackle, and down they go. Pekin. Tell you what, there's plenty in this game. Now a chance for Fitzroy to get out of trouble. Taylor to centre wing. And the ball will be taken by Strooper. Jackson in the hands of the trainers. Back with Strooper. Short. Thrown out towards Healy. Sharon has an airy. They wait for it. Lyon. Clear. Shrugs 1, 2 tackles. Now needs support and gets it. Good play line who set up so many of their initiatives. Towards Conlon. Can he get clear? He steadies. Fires at goal, but is off target.
Shouldn't have missed that. Disappointing result. Very disappointing result. Once again, it was one of those things where really Osborne perhaps should have shepherded or gone on loose, and he did neither. So Conlon had to have the shot. I'm sure if it could have been given over to Osborne, it would have been a certain goal.
Jackson on the interchange bench at the moment, and taking his place is young Anthony Lovell, one of Melbourne's recruits from Glenorchy in Tasmania. Forward go Fitzroy. Here's a chance for Roos. Handball to Osborne. Osborne snapshot across the face. Fitzroy still there. Bolson's taken the mark. He kicks it in. Will they score? Conlon off the ground. Well, what a mistake Fitzroy made there.
An excellent lesson for young Bolson there, that when you get hold of football, the first thing you do is face the goals, find out what's going on, and I'm sure that he could have run off then and kicked a goal by his little lonesome in the goal square, and experience, I suppose, will come.
Crowd of 10,273 enjoying tonight's game, and at the moment there is nothing in it. Anybody's game as Healy heads towards the boundary line. Plenty of pressure being applied by both sides. And it would be a very brave man to try and select the winner at this moment. Melbourne using the interchange bench. Eichhold coming onto the ground. Steins. The big fella's clear to get a kick back towards centre wing. All Fitzroy. And they're able to steady. It was Gale who started the hand pass. Roos. He's under plenty of pressure from Stretch. Past Hughes it goes, but Melbourne have players backing up. Well, they need them too. Bailey, Sharon, Osborne. Now a chance for Fitzroy. Gets clear, still going. Can't pick up the football. They're really applying the pressure to him, and eventually sock it away by Yates. Good clearing football. Ironmonger now has to head towards the boundary line. The big fella sprints after it, scoops it up with the one hand. Well done, Ironmonger, as he goes towards the half-forward line. No mark taken. Peeking through. Harris now at the bottom. Yates there with him. Strooper with the one boot. And I think we'll have a bounce. Oh, gee, it's intense out there now. Injury-wise, Dixie Marshall, how is Jackson?
Sandy, Ricky Jackson has turned on an ankle. It's being iced at the moment, but trainers say he'll be okay to return later in the match.
Good news for Melbourne fans, because they might need every pair of legs they can get come the last quarter. If it's still nip and tuck, Grinter's kick. Plenty of height, but no great distance. So Grinter tries to thump it clear. He does so, and here go Melbourne out of trouble again. Spalding. Thomas missed it, but he lends the backup support. He missed it again. Then he regained it. Onto his left foot he goes. All Fitzroy in the centre. They can steady. Long. Conlon's kick towards goal. Osborne flies high and taken over the line.
Almost, but not quite.
Shades of Malcolm Blight, Ian Roberts.
Well, you beat me to it. I thought Malcolm Blight would have taken one or two of those last few that they've flown for. There's 5 points in front, Fitzroy. We've got 17 minutes to go in the third quarter. Chance for Roos. Left foot snap by Bounce through. No. Intercepted by Lovett. Chance now for Keane. Great shot by Gary Keane. And Fitzroy extend their lead to 11 points. 65 plays 54, and that's Keane's second goal, and it certainly was a good one on his right foot.
Was too. This ball's come loose to Roos by himself. Good lesson again for Paul Roos there. On his left foot, you must lift the ball up with your leg, exactly like Keane does around the rock. You must kick up in the air and let's get some trajectory into the football.
Fitzroy open up an 11-point break. 10-5, 65, good scoring for goal. 8-6, 54 from the centre bounce. Healy sends Melbourne into attack. Over the top it goes. Pert tries to use the body. And he's starting to have an effect on the game now, because he opened it up for Gale, who was able to kick out wide towards the wing. Osborne under pressure. But Fitzroy having the players at the drop of the ball. Thomas, Lyon. Short, Keane. Under pressure this time, however. Tapped clear. Johnson pushed out of it. Steins. A handball over the top. He was looking for Viney. Solidly met, however. Fitzroy harassing. Molson gives it across to Harris. A high kick towards the 50-metre line, and a fine mark taken by Johnson.
Yes, it was a great mark, great courageous mark then by Johnson, who fell awkwardly. I'm sure he's just, this run's got to do him some good, Ian.
Yes, only 9 games last year from Alan Johnson. He had a very poor season for him, suffering from injuries. His kick goes into the centre. It's been marked by Yates. Graham Yates. Out wide, half-forward flank, outer side. Armstrong's there. So is Wilson for Melbourne. A bit of a struggle on Bailey. The 224s, Bailey and Pekin, having a bit of a dust-up.
Wilson now appears to be in the forward line too, Ian.
Umpire Clayton takes control. To play about 75 metres out from the Melbourne goal. The Demons badly need one. Laurie, Pekin, tackled by Steins, Bailey. Wilson tries off the ground. Dean, left foot snap up towards Campbell and Stevens. Chance for Eichel. Over the top, Campbell gets around, in the clear, shoots for goal and puts it through. Third goal to Campbell. And a badly needed one for the Demons, and it's 5 points. Fitzroy lead by in the third quarter.
Yes, well, I suppose when you look back at the end of the game, you're going to say that Tony Campbell's has now kicked 3 goals, and I suppose it could be very more. And he does it very coolly when he gets hold of the ball. The only fault that he's had tonight really is that he's played behind somewhat. But nevertheless, a goal that Melbourne needed, as you called, Ian. And gee, it is a great game, Sandy.
It certainly is. Malcolm, 5 points the margin, favouring Fitzroy. And many say that this is the quarter that if a side is going to win it, they break clear. It hasn't been the case as yet, but Melbourne are still going. It was Lovell who got it down to Williams. Out wide, Pekin. Oh, overruns it. Bailey through. Towards the line and over. But within 30 metres of the scoring zone, Melbourne coach John Northey. Keeping a close eye on his charges. Of course, this is their first game for the year. Fitzroy have won under their belt and a win. A 39-point victory over Footscray in a first-round match. But because the Demons are the reigning champions, they have a bye in the first round, so to make it into the semi-final, they must win tonight. Roos up with the one hand, couldn't quite take it, and a hurried kick towards the line by Lovett. Sees it go over, and so a throw-in will take place on the outer wing here at VFL Park.
Good play by Lovett. Nothing really that he could do there, but scramble the ball over, and on centre wing, outer side, Steins and Ironmonger set themselves. High over the top, Hughes. Great punch on Bailey. Eichel there, over the top, Laurie. Punches it the wrong way. Little tap on, nearly favoured the Demons. Lovell on to Wilson. Wilson, stand up, son. Caught with the ball. Has he been penalised?
Oh, no, he's going to get the free kick. And he was on the ground. Good heavens. You can't play him when you're on the ground like that.
Wilson's kick in towards full forward. Campbell. Mark's been paid to Tony Campbell. 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Would you believe that when Eichel came on, Grant Laurie's gone to pick him up because the bigger guy's gone off. What's happened now is Stevens is on Campbell, and Campbell all of a sudden just looks as though he might kick 2 goals in 2 minutes.
Tony Campbell heading for goal number 4. Nice looking kick, drifts across the face. It's punched over the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in 5 metres around from the Melbourne goal. We're 24 minutes into the third quarter, and it's 5 points the difference. Fitzroy 65, Melbourne 60. Fitzroy defence under lots of pressure. Wilson hard up against the boundary line, tapped over by Gale, and we'll have another throw in.
In that left forward pocket. Less than one straight kick in it. Here's the throw in. Going to come over the top was Williams, and they'll have to go through the same procedure again. Bottled up in that pocket. Big John Ironmonger grabbing his jumper and say, didn't you see him holding me then?
If he and Gary Keane were in the stall gift, who would you back?
From the throw in. Again, no one able to get it clear. Viney under a ton of pressure in the number 12 Guernsey for the Demons.
I know Warren Dean's going for the ruck there against Ironmonger, and it's not a lot of value, but I think you've got on hiding to nothing there. I think you should try and flip one over the back if he can.
Let's see what he does this time. Ironmonger alone. Then passes it out towards Osborne, who has it stolen by Wilson in towards full forward. Campbell is there, and in a juggling duel, it goes over the line for one behind. 9-7 plays 10-5.
Here we go, the cup. All the Fitzroy players again shuffling in the middle.
The kick comes out towards the half back line. Oh, and it's a shocking one, however. Taken on the chest by Lovett. Lovett steadies things down. Goes back in towards the left half forward flank, but the ball drops down in front of Stretch. Too quickly over the line for him to get it back. And so another throw-in. Ironmonger in front of Stein. Ironmonger, the big left hand goes up. Stretch over the line. Right on centre wing. Yet another throw-in.
A little bit of unproductive play. Now Ironmonger tries to get the ball clear to his running players. Osborne's there. Left foot kick towards centre half forward. Chance now for Fitzroy. Laurie perhaps could have picked that up. Conlon back to Laurie. Oh, great tackle by Grinder. May have held on a little too long. Yes, he did. It was a good tackle, but he just couldn't quite let go. And Laurie takes the free kick. Kicks it into the centre. Bolson gets around Grinder. Back onto the right foot. Kicks it long towards full forward. In front. Oh, how's your father, Gary Keane? As easy as you like.
Wasn't that an excellently timed mark? Interesting to watch what was going on behind that. Ruse and Stretch were looking for position and actually put the defender out of business on Keane. So Keane could just drift across the front of Ruse and Stretch and take that well-judged second grab one-handed mark.
Plenty of talent, this guy. Already kicked 2 goals. And now you can write down number 3 beside Gary Keane's name. And Fitzroy lead by 10 points. 71 plays 61.
A very handy goal at this stage of the game. The breeze drifting a bit towards the Melbourne end. As we watch this replay again, and you'll see the jostling behind, and Keane did it pretty well. Kicked himself pretty cool. As Ricky Jackson, I don't think we'll see him again tonight. But a very handy goal from Fitzroy, who are kicking against a slight draft, and 10 points at this stage. They're looking all right to me.
Centre bounce. Steins and Ironmonger, no decisive winner, but who'll win it out of the centre? Lyon in again. Gee, he's a real scrambler out of the middle. Tries to get in a kick. Now has support through Thomas, but Johnson it is who applies the pressure through Healy. And it's a real scramble there in the centre.
I'm impressed with Lyon, Ian. All that you said about him, he's excellent.
He's a tremendous little player, Ross Lyon.
11-5 plays 9-7. Favouring Fitzroy. Plenty of players on this ball. Ironmonger and Steins do it again. Viney, the tackler. No one clear. So Harris gets up from the bottom of the pack and waits to see if his ruckman can get it down to him again.
Umpire Clayton. Good punch away by Steins, but Osborne's in the way for Fitzroy. Kick towards centre half forward. It's at the back. Pressure on the Melbourne defence. Conlon the runner. Kicks it to the front of the square. Bowls on. Off to Keane. And unfortunately he misses. Possibly one of his more easier shots. And 11 points Fitzroy lead by. Hughes kicks it in. Unattended in the back pocket, Sharon. Sharon to the wing, a poor kick. Johnson backed up well by Steins. Steins no one to hand pass to. Goes further afield over the boundary line. The siren sounds. It's 3/4 time. First quarter final of the Panasonic Cup. Fitzroy lead by 11 points. The Lions 11-6-72. Melbourne 9-7-61.
When it comes to your
Insurance, there's a name you need to know. There's safe and sure and they care for you more than the S-I-O.
Now that I'm retired and on a fixed income, we have to watch how we use our money. SIO's Retired Persons Plan for house and contents insurance gives us real security at a healthy discount. We get new for old replacement value and $5 million liability cover, so we can really relax and enjoy retirement. SIO's Retired Persons Plan. It's a money saver.
Victorian Crown, Victoria's Own, and the S-I-O.
They're okay.
It's three-quarter time at VFL Park. Fitzroy, a 4-goal, 4-quarter lead, 11-6-72. Melbourne, 9-7-61. And plenty at stake in this game. It's a quarter-final match. In round one, if you were successful, you picked up $16,000. Fitzroy did that when they defeated Fitzroy by 39 points. If they're successful tonight, they can add 20,000 to that 16,000. And then they'll go on with a chance of going for $30,000 or possibly $60,000. So as you can see, there's a lot at stake for these clubs to perform well. And there's a lot at stake too for the individual players to perform well.
The player of the match receives this magnificent compact-sized variable power oven by courtesy of Panasonic.
The margin here at VFL Park is 11 points, Malcolm, and that's probably indicative of the way the game has been played tonight.
Yes, it has, Sandy. I just detected during that third quarter, in particular, towards the end of that quarter, that Fitzroy just looked a shade more composed going forward. They certainly had more of the play, and I'm sure that they could have been further ahead if they capitalised on their chances. But it's going to be an interesting quarter. As I said, the breeze is going to the end that Fitzroy are going to now, and it's going to take one of those Herculean performances that Melbourne put up last year. And I know we refer to 87 quite a bit, but I'm sure that would be fresh in their mind to say that this is their first competitive game for the year. Fitzroy already had the one real competitive hit out, so it's going to be a very, very tight last quarter.
Is that an advantage, do you think, to Fitzroy to have had that game behind them?
There's no question that playing games under this sort of match conditions, under this sort of pressure, does just sharpen everybody up. As I said, I just detected that slightly towards into that quarter. And I think that Melbourne having that bye in that first round, and this is really their first game of the year, they're trying a few things. I don't really think they've got their defence quite worked out right. And I'm sure that around the ball, their players really haven't been as busy as the Fitzroy player. Here we go as we watch Campbell now kick this goal. And he looked at, he has certainly got something, hasn't he, Campbell up forward. He's kicked 3 goals. Laurie moved off him now because of the height problem. And as David Parkin walks off the ground, I'm sure that he'd be reasonably confident with an 11-point win at this stage.
Just briefly, the major scorers, Campbell 3 for Melbourne and Healy 2 for Fitzroy. We find 2 to Harris, Lyon and also Ruse. Let's go down to the boundary line. Here once again is Peter Donegan. Pete?
Well, Sandy, at three-quarter time, David Parkin said to his players that what they had to do was do the physical stuff. He said that they won't get their name up in lights, but that's what wins matches for the Lions. And he also said they've got to run it out. He said it's going to be very tight. In fact, that was a brief shot of David Parkin you saw just running over there. And David getting his players together, talking to them pretty briefly, whereas John Northey has only just broken up. So obviously, Dixie, he had plenty to say.
He did, but he did it quietly, Peter. The back line continues to worry John Northey. Also, when they get close, they tend to relax. He's pleased with their commitment, but he wants some character. He doesn't want his players to get a 6-week break.
Well, over 10,000 people here at VFL Park tonight in the quarterfinals of the Panasonic Cup, and it's Fitzroy by 11 points at three-quarter time as we go back to the commentary box and Sandy Roberts.
Thank you, Pete. Just about set for the final quarter to decide who will advance to the semi-final of this Panasonic Cup competition. And at the moment, it's anybody's game. The Lions have an 11-point break. Here we go. Final quarter of this first quarter-final match. Steins up against Ironmonger. Healy trying desperately to win it out of the middle. Lyon has done so well on many occasions tonight. Gets it across to his teammate in Bolton. towards full forward. No mark taken by Ruse. Stretch is waiting at the back. He almost spoon feeds his teammate in Lovett, who goes with a long kick down towards the half back line. No mark taken. Harris waits for the crumbs, scouts nicely. Back again to Harrison goes. He sets Fitzroy in motion. It's taken by Laurie from the 55-metre line. A long kick towards Ruse. Over the top. I don't think it was touched, and it's a goal.
Oh, excellent kick from Grant Laurie. What it's done, Ian, is it's brought him out from the full back line, deep in defence, and a bit critical of his handball in that third quarter, but what it's done is making him a very, very attacking player. And
I think Malcolm, just chipping in, one of the things I picked up there, Fitzroy outnumbered Melbourne about 6-2 there when that ball hit the ground at centre-half forward, and that was, they had options all over the place. And when you talk about players that you can give the hand pass to, and Grant Laurie finished on the end of it, it certainly can polish things off. 17 points now, Fitzroy lead by. Very valuable goal at the start of the last quarter. And here they go forward again. Hughes under pressure, gets the kick away, up towards half forward. Nearly a good mark taken by Dean. Lyon in there, paddles it on to Conlon. Conlon's kick to centre half forward. At the back, Spalding gets the hand pass wide. Steins gets the kick off the ground, back towards the centre. Good chip in by Thomas. Off to Pert. Pert kicks it around the corner to half forward. Steins there with Osborne. Osborne should win the race to the ball. Boundary line looming up. Osborne kicks it off the ground. Good intelligent play. Here's a chance now for Ruse. Handball wide. Laurie's in the play again. Tries to get the ball back into the centre of the ground. Eichel chips in for Melbourne. Poor kick. Here's a chance for Harris. Boundary line too close. Harris can't control it and will have a boundary throw in. It's about 55 or 60 metres around from the Fitzroy goal. Spalding there in the picture, hasn't done a lot this evening. Thornton, Laurie, chance for Keane. Thomas spills it. Harris tries the tap on. Scrambly football, half forward flank for Fitzroy. Greg Healy on the bottom of the pack, and umpire Vernon decides on a bounce.
Players just taking a bit longer to get up off the ground too, Ian. It's been a pretty quick game all night.
Yes, they've been hammer and tongs right from the opening bounce. This is the greatest margin that any side has been able to open up in this match, and at the moment it belongs to Fitzroy. Keane from that particular duel has a free kick. Kick from some 46, 47 metres. Is a long kick of a football. A left footer. The drop punt on its way, drifting across the face of goal. Osborne is there and he takes the mark. Plays on. Oh, I think he may get out.
Oh, I thought it was a dead set play on. I'm not quite sure whether he was in distance or something. Oh, but excellent skills again. What a great goal.
After a long, hard day, nothing beats a long, cold Carlton draft.
Pour it long, pour it cold, pour it Carlton, pour it gold. The real taste of real draft beer. Pour it long, pour it cold, pour it Carlton, pour it gold.
Carlton Draft, the greatest taste in draft beer.
Fitzroy 13-6, 84, increasing their lead over Melbourne 9-7, 61. Time clock shows just under 22 minutes remaining, so there's certainly plenty of time, Ian, if the Demons are good enough.
Yes, the Demons need a bit of a roll here. 2 quick goals to get them back some momentum. Gale desperate at centre half back for Fitzroy, can't break the Melbourne tackle, but he gets a bit of a pat on the back from one of his teammates there, and he's been a part of a rock-solid Fitzroy defence, restricting the Demons to just 9 goals, 7, and 5 minutes into the last quarter.
I wonder if it's time for Danny Hughes to be thrown up forward or on the ball, just to get some drive out of that area.
The play on centre wing, Member's side, bowls on with strength, gets the kick away, close to the boundary line. Good play by the youngster, young Robert Bolson. fairly concerned John Northey with Shane Zantuck in the background. And the Demons needing 4 goals now to edge in front of Fitzroy. Time ticking away. From the throw-in, Dwyer can't take it. Thornton leaves it for Keane. He goes down towards the forward line, and Roos takes a solid one-grab mark, playing in front. Distance should not be a problem. The drop punt on its way, swinging back, but not enough. And 1 point only is registered.
Yes, a 4-goal mark, I believe, in football is the time when the coach really should start to look at some other options. You're still in the game within 4 goals, but you've really got to start considering what moves you can make to make sure that it doesn't get 5 and 6.
At the back, Eichel. A hurried kick. It goes over the top and over the line. Purton Dean, and that little onlooker not too happy that Melbourne's down. Well, in the year 2005, he might be in a Melbourne jumper playing at VFL Park. Who knows? If, of course, it's a male. Throw in at centre wing. Steins, Ironmonger, the former Windsor, tapped over the back. Trying to get his kick was Williams. He couldn't. He was pulled off the ball. Eventually flicked out by Gale. Gets it clear. Thornton's kick goes down towards the half-forward line. Fitzroy determined. Conlon's on a run. He's at the 50-metre line. Swings with the left foot. Shoots in towards full forward. Tap clear. Who's waiting down? Osborne could be first to it. Overruns it. Goes back on it now. Viney goes over the top.
One thing I have noticed, Sandy, they've been a lot more lenient on the 50 metres. I'm sure that the 10 metres have been well rehearsed tonight, and they've let it go a bit more. Makes for a better game of footy too.
Well, certainly. That's one of the things that I haven't picked up, but umpire Clayton and umpire Vernon have done a tremendous job. Spalding took the risk there, running right back across the face of goal. Johnson there to tidy up. In the back pocket, kicks it high and close to the boundary line. Williams can't mark. The ball still in play. Conlon again. Gets past Grinter, kicks with the left foot towards the front of the square. The mark's been taken for Melbourne by Spalding. And the Demons were looking just a little sick then. Spalding now kicks towards centre-half back. Steins has made good position, can't mark. Wilson there. He was dispossessed by his teammate in Newport. Here come Fitzroy again. Armstrong inside 50 metres, bangs away and puts it through. Armstrong's second goal.
Hinch at 7.
Robert Mackay was stabbed repeatedly in the back before his assailant ran off.
No, all of a sudden Australia just attacked me from going with a knife.
What Mackay did affected a lot of people.
I saw this man grab Mr. Mackay.
Expect the unexpected. 5:30 tomorrow, commiserations to Paul Peter, Nervous Nicky and Tenacious Tom as they attempt to dodge the whammies and press their luck on 7.
The Lions increase their lead, 14-7 to 9-7. It's going to be tough for the Demons now to make up 30 points. Thornton kicks out of the centre. Fitzroy into attack again in just over 18 minutes of time left to play. Rue's kick is marked on this occasion by Spalding, but it goes wide, very wide, and over the line. So things falling into place for Fitzroy, but not so for Melbourne. I think that's the difference, really, that when you're talking with Malcolm about the team playing a game, their field kicking hasn't been anywhere near as good as Fitzroy's. O'Dwyer won the tap. Osborne eludes 2, then swings it back in towards half-forward. Who's waiting at the back? It's all Melbourne. They get out of trouble. Grinter's kick towards centre wing. Williams, under pressure, gets a high kick. They're finding it tough to go forward. Harris stops Healy. Play on is the call. Strooper over centre wing. And 1, 2 grabs and a good mark taken by Bolter. Short towards half-forward. Osborne is loose there. And he takes it just outside 50 metres.
Well, it'd want to be a good kick tonight, wouldn't it? You're kicking from about 55 metres. He is a very balanced player out running it straight at the goals.
He's kicked 2. There's the kick on its way. Drifting in towards the square. A big pack of players off hands at the back is Stretch. Through handball, Melbourne will get out of trouble and we love it.
Gets to the 50-metre line, then goes up towards Stein. Doesn't try and mark, just tried to tap it over the back. Eichhold is there. Now, could this be something positive for Melbourne? Eichhold's kick. Healy went up far too early. And all Fitzroy as they clear it out.
Well, did Leon Harris shepherd? He gets the kick away. Conlon. Handball into Blakey, who fumbles. Williams throws himself on it. Here's Strooper in the centre of the ground. His kick off the side. Keane spills the sitter. Gets the handball away. Oh, puts his teammate Strooper under lots of pressure. Wilson tidies up. Off to Healy. There's a man that Melbourne have missed in the last 15 minutes. Newport. Up towards centre-half forward. Over the top. No mark taken. Play on. It's Stevens at centre-half back for Fitzroy.
Pekin onto the left foot. Clears. Harris uses the body well again. A solid bump. That was Grinter. Over the line. And another throw-in. Harris rode it well. He limps away, but he'll certainly live to fight another day.
Alan Johnson's been moved to a forward pocket, and it looks as though Williams has gone out somewhere on the wing half-forward flank.
Ironmonger can't beat Steins on that occasion, but the big fella does get the kick away, and the mark has been taken by Bolzer. Plays on quickly, centering it. O'Dwyer can't mark. Ball to ground. Fitzroy, first to the fall of the ball. Bolton, the player going past. Thornton steadies from 55 metres. He goes short, cleverly done. Strooper, short into the square. Here's another one to Roos.
Puts the glasses down. 6 goals the difference, and once again, fantastic team play by Fitzroy as the changes are made on the interchange bench, and there's not a lot now that Melbourne can do. Great look here by Thornton. He saw the loose player in the centre of the ground, centre half forward, and a quick chip over to Roos, and Roos finished off, and he made sure by putting the ball almost out of the ground.
So it's going to be mighty tough now. The Lions looking winners. The Melbourne boys starting to feel their legs. 15-7 to 9-7. A little over 14 minutes left.
Ironmonger still looking pretty good. O'Dwyer over the top gets the tap. Chance for Greg Healy. Fitzroy have done well to keep it in though. Lyon gets the ball out. Good mark taken at centre half back. The ball comes clear to Williams. But they're always there harassing the Fitzroy players all over the field. Bailey fumbles. Leon Harris there to put pressure on. There he goes again, and he gets a hand pass away to Conlon. Conlon's got his supporting player in Armstrong. Armstrong in the centre, goes wide. Here's a chance for Keane. Gee, does everything. It looks so easy for the big fellow. Keane, handball away. Lyon again, he's tackled this time, caught with the ball, and he's penalised for holding it, and Newport will take the free kick for Melbourne.
So Newport from half back. Wilson from behind. Wide on the wing. He gets a bad bounce, but claims it now. The kick is a high one. Pert will come over the top with a fist. Ironmonger, too much height. Gets it away to Blakey. Fitzroy are on a run again. Here they go through Stevens. Back to Blakey. Mucking round with it. Now Thomas. Longer. In towards full forward. Plenty of flyers. Waiting at the back. Viney for the Demons. Should clear. He goes wide. Williams is there. Not sure what to do. Eventually goes in towards halfback. And Yates will clear towards the wing. Fisted down. Pert. Still chasing. Gave a little bit of a soccer towards the boundary line on that occasion.
Brian Wilson just been taken off the ground. They threw him in the centre just for 4 or 5 minutes, but he looks very, very tired to me. And he also missed a lot of training with the contractual disagreements early in the year. It's interesting that he's run out of puff.
Warren Dean there holding his hand. Gary Pert having a kick at the football. And Dean's hand just getting in the road. The scrambly piece of play, and umpire Vernon will come in and bounce. The play between wing and half forward, slightly favouring the Demons, and they look a very tired and lethargic unit now, Melbourne. 3 goals to Fitzroy at the start of the last quarter certainly made them look that way. Conlon going on with it, kicks it up towards the half-forward flank area. O'Dwyer gets it off to Williams, and Williams, there's the indication that Melbourne are perhaps just a little underdone. Williams kick tired, out of bounds on the full on centre wing, and the free kick will go to Gary Pert.
Interesting to note one statistic. Fitzroy 94 handballs, Melbourne 63. So it's almost 50% more, and many of them have been smack on target. Stretch under pressure, gets a high kick towards the half-back line. Plenty of pushing and shoving, but the umpire lets it go on as bowls and flicks it over the back. His target could have been Osborne, who has a chance with it now. High over his shoulder, he hooks it back, but not nearly enough. And in fact, the ball goes out of bounds on the full.
No, I really do think that Richard Osborne had plenty of time to even get round. The most important shot at goal is the one running straight at goals. And I think the hook round the body, he tends to do that quite a bit, and really could have got straighter.
Viney kicks it short to Newport. Demons have missed those players around the fall of the ball. Sharon punches it on, and we'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward, outer side. Ricky Jackson still in lots of trouble with his ankle on the boundary line. Medical staff working overtime. Ironmonger stands his ground. Gale. Chance now for Harris. On to Osborne. Reverse punt kick by Osborne is another goal. Tremendous shot by Richard Osborne. That's his third.
A reverse punt kick. Do you mean a check side kick?
Coming from South Australia, I'll have to dip my lip to.
Yes, we just talked about Richard Osborne. He's had almost 20 possessions tonight, and they've all been kicks, Richard Osborne, which indicates that he is one of those players that is running by. And great skill then at turning the ball up in the air. What you've got to do, and 3 goals, third goal to Osborne.
You're saying that he doesn't like the handball?
No, he's not. Here's the centre bounce. The Demons win it, but can they get it out of the centre? It's Lyon who initiates it again with a hand pass. O'Dwyer couldn't pick it up, so he leaves it for a smaller man in Viney, down towards the half-forward line. The Melbourne forays into attack have been few and far between. Blakey defends, although it slews off the side of the boot. He still has backup support. Came from Pert across to Pekin. A high kick back towards the centre. Mark not taken by Lyon, who's starting to look pretty tired now, and well he might, after some 23 possessions. Now an opportunity for Healy. Across to Campbell. But great interception by Pekin. And once again, Fitzroy out of trouble. That one will just wobble over the line. And a throw in to take place.
When you're under pressure, and you don't need to be, I think it was a perfect lesson then that the ball was given off when there was really no need for it.
So Glenn Taylor and wife Jennifer can feel very happy tonight. As followers of Fitzroy, I think they're certainly looking at a winning combination at VFL Park this evening. Of course, Glenn heading 7 News in Melbourne.
Grinter kicks the ball to the front of the square. Eichel taps on. Snapshot for goal by Bailey. O'Dwyer. Good pressure by Stevens. And surely there was nothing in that.
Looked pretty average, didn't it? I think that one of the tricks is, I know I've mentioned this before, but you must watch the ball, not the player. And the umpire sees that intention in your face as Ironmonger comes off, and he's done a manful job again tonight. So a shot at goal for a badly needed one by Melbourne.
Well, John Ironmonger, here's one of his opponents, young O'Dwyer, an up-and-comer from last year. He's kicked a goal for Melbourne. That's their 10th. They trail by 6 goals. But I was just going to say, Ironmonger could certainly feel very pleased with his 2 matches that we've seen so far for his new club. I mean, he left the Swans with not much to go talk about, really, his performances, and it's been tremendous, his 2 games so far. There's O'Dwyer.
I really do think it was the intention beforehand. If he'd looked at the football to start with, it would have been okay.
22 hit-outs for the night for John Ironmonger. 8 kicks, 5 hand passes, plus a couple of marks. So he's certainly done his bit. From the centre, A chance for the Demons to go forward once again. Eichel under plenty of pressure loses it. It comes out wide. Now an opportunity as Yates runs his full distance, steadies, fires at goal, and puts through another belated one for the Demons. Yates kicked one in the first quarter, and now that one to help put some respectability onto the scoreboard, but I think the Demons may have left their run just a little too late.
Here it is again. Once again, wasn't it a fantastic pick-up by Eichel then, and a quick soccer out. And Yates, who did kick the first goal, has been a bit quiet tonight. He's played a bit patchily. So once again, a wonderful kick for goal.
(16-7) Fitzroy, Melbourne 11-7. 5 straight kicks in it. Centre bounce. Steins. But it's Thornton who takes it out of the centre. Long for Fitzroy. Down towards Keane. Across to Roos. He gets clear. He can give it to Osborne, who could also go over the top. He chips away at goal, however, and says, don't worry, I shall do it myself.
Yes, well, he almost had his first handball for the night, but 4 goals is a pretty good effort from the ruck rover from Fitzroy. And he looked lively in that first quarter, and he's continued it on all night. With Fitzroy now getting that goal, that little resurgence by Melbourne, I feel has been quelled. And I think that they've got to learn something from this Melbourne. They've got to keep at it now. The good side from last year will keep at it and won't throw it in from here.
Having a well-earned rest is John Ironmonger. With 7 minutes to go in the first quarter final, and Fitzroy looking odds-on to progress further in the Panasonic Cup. Bounce in the centre, Steins. Armstrong gets the ball out for Fitzroy. Osborne on the end of it takes the mark. There's his first hand pass for the evening to Blakey. On it goes to Strooper. Strooper out wide, and Keane takes the mark 50 metres from goal. Gary Keane, unobtrusive, has already kicked 3. Punts a long bomb towards the front of the goals. Mark nearly taken by Roos, slips off his hands through for a behind. And now Fitzroy lead by 37 points as big Gary Keane lopes away. Hughes kicks the ball into the back pocket. The mark taken by Bailey.
Bailey looking to set up handball. Does so now. That was Williams. Now Steins. Melbourne going the long way home. Newport onto the left foot. Campbell scoops it out. Yates kicks smothered. Harris steadies for Fitzroy. Goes short. Back in towards the centre. Too many there for the Roys. Thomas over the top, but loses the football in the process. To ground it goes. No one able to get clear for Fitzroy. Now the Demons a chance. They've waited a long time. Lovell down in towards the right forward pocket. The bounce favours the Lions. I think they've got plenty of time. This is Stevens. Pert appeared to take his eye off the ball at the crucial moment. That allowed Grinter in, looking for Yates. Conlon applies the pressure, but he loses it. A scrambly passage of play ends in a bounce just inside the 50-metre line, with Melbourne in attack and desperately trying to get goals on the board, and quickly.
The boys are tired.
Which is making it very tough. But let's not take anything away from Fitzroy. A high kick from Lovell, close to the boundary line and eventually over. So a throw in the right forward pocket. Time running out. O'Dwyer. Blakey, an attempted soccer off the ground. He has plenty of support. Laurie over the centre. Still the heavy body work goes in. Sharon is just on the defensive side of centre, and he'll take the free kick. Goes short. Oh, they're really starting to show their tiredness now. Still, Grinter went in solidly. Thomas now applies the tackle and wins the football. Keith Thomas wobbles a punt over the head of Osborne. Conlon is there. Over the top, he goes to Osborne. He'll swing back onto his right foot. Chip in towards half forward. 3 Fitzroy players there. Keane is one of them. Pekin is another. Weaves his way through, heads towards goal. Is off target. It goes over the back and one behind. 17-9 to 11-7, favouring Fitzroy. Kick back into play, Healy. He has been a trier all night for the Demons. In fact, had a magnificent start to the game. And really, he has been a real workhorse, trying to inspire his side and get them going. Ruse putting Fitzroy back towards Keane, and he takes the mark.
Keane, about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. He's kicked 3 goals. Not bad statistics for a man who's played most of his football during the evening up on that half-forward line. And they've got a 2-pronged attack now with Paul Ruse up there and this man. Beautiful looking kick by Gary Keane. That's his 4th goal, and Fitzroy doing it easily.
I think what you just said then, Ian's very true. And as much as Keane has just disrupted the Melbourne defence and has allowed Ruse, not that he's played sensationally tonight, but between them they've kicked 7 goals. I think when you're looking at your 2 key forwards kicking 7 goals and above, you're due to win a game of football. Look, it's made it very difficult. Quite often Spalding's had to be away, and they really did disrupt that Melbourne defence.
There's another chance now. This time it's McGrath. Lyon gets it through the legs to Thornton. Newport. Lyon again. Here's Gale off to Harris. Harris around the corner. Oh, beautifully done by Ruse. Ruse to Strooper. And he misses on the right.
Class players don't fumble the ball, even those slightly difficult ones, and just showed what a magnificent player Paul Ruse is with a great one grab.
Well, that ball will have to go back. The goal umpire had not finished proceedings. Hughes to the outer side. Steins the target, and he finds him. Steins to centre wing. Melbourne still in there battling as Bailey was on all fours, eventually got the hand pass out. Newport tried to dribble it forward. Laurie is there for Fitzroy, however. He's opposing 34, and he defensively works it over the line for a throw-in.
Yeah, great defensive play then by Grant Laurie. Kept his body over the ball, kept himself nice and balanced for the oncoming knocks. And he's played a pretty good game, Grant Laurie, tonight.
McGrath replacing Ironmonger, and Steins over the top, Pert. One clear. Eventually the handball comes the way of Blakey. He puts it out wide towards centre wing. Fitzroy have still got run in their legs. This is Bolzon. Towards half forward. Blakey a little late on the scene, and the mark taken by Lovett. Plays on with handball. Now they work it out to Lovell. He goes long in towards the forward line, and a great diving mark has been taken by Dean. 30 metres out. The angle certainly not acute, and a chance for Dean to score his 2nd goal.
We've seen this many times with Dean last year. He's a very quick and elusive player. I think that the competition with Gary Pert's been an excellent one. Gary Pert being very defensive as Dean kicks a goal, and that makes goal number 2 for Warren Dean.
And Melbourne's 12th. So they trail 12-7 to 18-10. Main scorers for the Demons. Campbell has 3, 2 apiece to Healy and Dean, whilst for Fitzroy, Ruse 3, Osborne 4 and Keane 4.
Play goes on. Chance for Thomas. Well tackled by Campbell. And Campbell rewarded with the free kick. Slightly forward of centre. Campbell's kick goes direct. O'Dwyer tries to tap over the top. Bailey a little slow. Pekin rushes the ball through for a behind to the Melbourne side. 18-10 plays 12-8.
38 points Fitzroy lead by, and there's a man whose stats won't show very much, but he's been a part of a rock-solid Fitzroy defence. Kicks it out towards Stevens. That was Gary Pert. Stevens goes through centre-half back in towards the centre. Steins just bumps McGrath out at the psychological moment and takes a good solid mark to put the Demons back into attack. Siren not far away. Steins kicks it towards centre-half forward. It's inside the 50-metre line as Campbell takes the mark. And Tony Campbell, who's kicked 3 goals and done a reasonable job for his side, has a chance to kick goal number 4. Siren sounds. Game finished. Fitzroy will win. Only the margin to be determined by this kick by Campbell. Nice long kick. It's a goal. And he just lessens the Fitzroy winning margin by 6 points. The difference, 32 points. 18-10, 118 Fitzroy. Melbourne 13-8, 86.